That would be no good.
I did work in a grocery store, though, when I was a kid.
Oh, I bet
Ladies
you're
and
amazing.
gentlemen, welcome to the Unknown Theater here in Horizon World. This is Pipe Dreams and Cookie Conversations with Windmajik and B-ligerent.
Yay!
Hello. Welcome
There we go.
to Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations at the Unknown Theater. I'm Windmajik, and this is my co-host, B-ligerent.
Yay!
Yay!
How's everybody
What's
doing
happening?
tonight?
Good.
Yay. How's your
I
week,
was just good. I was just
You knew that was
over at
coming.
my foot in brass, you know.
Oh,
my
your
foot's
foot
in the
over there.
hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just running my finger up and down the bottom of it, and I
Yeah?
swear I was like tickling my, like in real life I could feel it, like just barely I could feel it.
What strain you smoking tonight, B?
Only the best. What is it? Let's see. Is that a real question? Because I could ever real
I'm
answer.
seriously smoking something called
Cakeberry brulee.
Oh, nice. That sounds so pretty and yummy. You know what I'm
Oh.
smoking? I'm smoking something called cheetah piss.
Shit. Cheetah piss.
Wow.
Cheetah piss. When the guy
Sounds
said to me, you got to try this, you're going to love it. I said, what is it? He said, I know you're a sativa person, and I got a great sativa for you. He said, it actually has a little bit of stuff for helping with pain too. He said, which is unusual in a sativa. So you're going to love it. I said, great. He said, it's called cheetah piss.
Oh, shit.
Can I smell that before I buy it? I wanted to make sure that it wasn't named.
Do not mix
for
that with
its-
bleach.
Right? Yeah, it starts smoking on its own.
Or is it ammonia? I don't know.
It does not taste or smell like I would imagine cheetah piss tastes or smells. So, unless it's lemony, in which case then it does.
Or like I was thinking like the Cheeto from like Cheetos, like cheesy. That was my first thought. Like Chester the Cheetah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
So
I'm
we
wrong.
got to hang out again, B.
We got to hang out again, B.
We did. We did.
Cool. We went and saw some comedy.
We did.
Yep.
Yep, I talked
That's
about it
good.
a little bit. I talked about it a little bit last night at Joke Club.
Oh,
That-
sweet.
Well, just that like what the premise of the show that we watched was, the way they were
Right.
doing the 20 minutes in a week or something,
Right.
and that I was like rewriting their jokes in my head.
Yeah, there was 4, and 2 of them I thought were really good, and the other 2 were kind of meh. Like the first dude was kind of like meh. His
Yeah.
jokes were basic, and then the
Transformer.
no. Okay, yeah, that's no, her name is
He is really high.
damn, I said it to myself earlier today even.
It started
Anyway,
with a K.
she was fucking funny.
Yeah.
She was super funny. And then Erica Rhodes, who is Garrison Keillor's niece.
She was hilarious.
Garrison Keillor's from I don't know what's that one show?
What's
Super
that
old
one
They
show?
just talk about the pond and shit. He talks about
He talks about a
Garrison
pond.
Keillor. Yeah.
Some good
Anybody know about a show where a guy talks about a
Garrison
pond?
Keillor. Hey Siri, what show does Garrison Keillor do?
Twin Peaks. That's all I know.
They talk about a pond on Twin Peaks.
Well, they talk about a bunch of ponds and shit, but
There was on Golden Pond, but that was
You're so worth it.
Jane Fonda and Henry Fonda. And
yeah.
so I don't think it was. Did Siri answer you?
Yeah, she's dumb. Prairie Home Companion.
Prairie Home Companion. I have
ever
heard of
that?
it. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I think
Anyway,
we had this
She was
discussion.
funny. Erica Rhodes was funny.
Yeah, she was.
And then the last dude was corny. I didn't like him.
Yeah. It was his joke about the, what do you call it? The VCR, the VHS player, where he said it was broken. He kept saying it was broken. And all I could think of was that he should have said that he still couldn't program his VHS player. Because nobody knew how to fucking program a VHS player. I had one from the very beginning of when VHS players came out until they became obsolete. And I never, in all that time, learned how to program the fucking thing.
Oh, shit.
Never did. So.
That's too bad.
Yep.
You missed out on some high technology there.
Yeah, it was right up there with Pong.
Love Pong. Love Pong.
Hey, Pong lover.
In the that 70s basement on here, there is a Pong game that you can play. Has little Pong controllers and everything.
Yeah, been there, done that. I love it. Love it. Love it. Brings me right back home.
Back to what was that? The 70s?
I did that in 76.
Yeah,
I was 6 years old. That's how old I am. I'm old.
Same age, so.
Okay, we're not old. We rock.
No, we're fucking old.
Shut up, Jen. Iris, shut the freak up.
Well, actually, though, I think that most of our audience here is at least over 35?
Yeah, 34. Yeah.
35. Oh, okay.
If you're talking about it, then you're old.
A little less than half that.
We've already established that would be. I climbed on a big huge chair.
76.
I also climbed on a big huge chair.
Mm.
We sat on this ginormous chair because, well, first we were following this white rabbit, and he kept saying, "I'm late. I'm late." And so we were following him, and then all of a sudden there was this little bottle, and it said, "Drink me," and we drank it, and then all of a sudden there was this big, huge chair, so we had to climb up out of the chair and smoke a J, so that we
Can I be the caterpillar? Can I be the caterpillar?
You were the caterpillar.
I was the caterpillar.
Yes, you were the caterpillar. You better than the Cheshire Cat, because I don't like the Cheshire Cat. He freaked me out. I don't like the smile.
Yeah, he kind of fucks with you a little bit.
I don't like smiles. Smiles creep me out. Like, laughter is good and stuff, but when somebody's just sitting there smiling, it's creepy.
Hey, what's the movie?
You don't think that's creepy when somebody's... What are they if somebody's
It's
just
good
sitting
for
there
you.
all by themselves and they're just smiling?
They're happy.
Yeah,
But about
what? If you're
what?
thinking about? What if you're thinking a happy thought?
What is their happy thought, though? What is making them smile?
None of your
all
business.
alone?
Name.
Get out of my happy thoughts. Ah.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. Like, are they remembering something amusing that their child did? I don't know. Like, what are they thinking about? Are they thinking about, like, that they'd like to slap somebody? Are they thinking they just buried a body somewhere and they never have to deal with that person again? What are they thinking and smiling about?
Oh.
It's a little creepy.
What is your preferred facial expression then? For others?
RBF, probably. No, just normal. Just
Normal.
face. Just face.
Just face. Default.
Just default face.
Hello, Windmajik. Just monotone.
No, I mean, like,
Fucking
if
have a
you
nice
smile
day.
for a reason, like if you're greeting somebody and you're happy to see them, it's okay to smile. But like, if you're just sitting there smiling at somebody with this big, weird, toothy Joker smile, it's weird.
Would you prefer, like, if you just walked in on somebody and they had a super evil smile, like they're gonna kill somebody?
No, I don't like evil
Or
smiles.
it's not an evil
either.
smile, but like an evil, like, frown, like they're just about to, like, they had it and shit. Would you prefer
Because then you know that they're angry or they're upset and they're going to do something.
Then you know they're...
Yeah. But when people are doing something evil and they're smiling while they're doing it, that's really creepy.
I think they made a movie about that. right?
Called Smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure did. I think
Did they
made
make us
2 of them.
watch that? They made us watch that for Binge Nation.
Oh. There you have it.
Yeah.
You know what I've been thinking about recently?
What?
Deep thoughts about paradoxes in our world. Paradoxes.
What kind of paradoxes?
Well, one in particular that I've been considering. It's called the booby paradox. Are you familiar with the booby paradox?
No.
No? The booby paradox. Okay. Let me set it up for you. So I'm a traveling salesperson, right? And I travel for 5 weeks, and then I'm home for 2 weeks. Okay?
Okay.
And I live at home with my girlfriend, and she has really nice boobies, and I like to lick her boobies, okay?
Okay.
But then, alas, I have to leave again for 5 weeks.
Okay.
But then come back, always thinking about it. But in those 5 weeks, did you know, like, the human body, like, all your cells replace themselves, right?
Every
over
7
time,
years.
like, eventually, all your cells eventually, over 7 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, all your cells, but they go at different rates. Like, certain cells go faster than others, or whatever, right? So, like, the skin cells, turns out it's about a month, like 30 days, less than 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So the paradox is: are those the same boobies that I'm licking on that I licked on the last time I was home? The booby paradox.
And
are they the same boobies?
Yes.
Well,
because all the skin cells, it's all different, like
it's new skin.
It's different. Everything's different.
You know what though? Does the skin on your tongue regenerate also? Because are you licking those same boobies with the same mouth that you licked them with a month, 5 weeks
deep.
ago?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You just flipped the script on me. Dang.
Might be 2 totally different people.
Dang.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, 2 totally different people.
Yes. Totally different mouths, totally different boobies.
Paradox solved. That's the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Did anybody know that when people are talking in here, every now and then their ears wiggle?
Really?
Yeah, I keep watching these ears wiggle. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I don't know if he's going to lift off. Or...
Does your ears wiggle? Bubba?
I do that instead of smiling.
You wiggle your ears, do you?
Yeah, I want to set you off by smiling.
Well, on that note, would you like to bring out our guest?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to introduce our guest?
Our guest. Dan Derkson.
Hey. Hi. How are you? Yeah, it's good to see everybody. Hi. How are you?
I just bounced right out of my seat.
I know.
I
don't know what happened there.
I was like,
I was standing in the thing watching, and at some point, everybody suddenly all stood up in the audience, and I don't know why. It was very upsetting. I think they were trying to figure out the booby paradox.
Probably.
It's an exciting paradox.
Well, the booby paradox already exists, right?
Well,
you're just talking about the ship of Theseus.
Thank you. Yes, I did change it.
Okay, good.
It's a real paradox.
I just I think what you got to do is make it the boobies of Theseus.
The boobies of Theseus.
The boobies of Theseus.
I think it's a
These guys had nice ones, is what I heard.
Yeah,
worthy of mention.
Excellent.
The Jolly Rancher.
Oh, well, thank you. I love a.
Did he just? So, Danny D, for anybody who doesn't know, he hosts our improv show here.
I teach the improv. I do.
Yes, he teaches improv.
Many people at Wink and Crow have come many times.
I have sadly only come a couple of times.
You've come a couple of times?
Couple times. You
come too. Yeah. We always have fun. It's always silly and very much fun.
It is. Anytime I've gone, I've had fun. And then in between, I convince myself that I'm terrible at improv. And then every time I go, I have fun. So
everybody is equally great and terrible at improv, I like to think. Because it doesn't matter. Oh, all these things are flying at me. Sorry, that was improv. No, I think it all depends on what you're doing. But I think because you can't be good at improv. It's improv, and the skill of improv isn't a thing that you can do. You can experience it with somebody else. If there's not other people improvising with you, it's not the same thing. And therefore, nobody can improvise properly unless they're a sounding board and listening to a sounding board.
I always feel like I'm improvising most of my life.
That is fair.
I was thinking that too.
So Danny, I'm curious. Like, how did you get into improv? Like, how did you become interested in it?
Well, I mean, I started as an actor, and it was when I was studying theater. When I was in my first year of college, we started going to. I grew up in Vancouver, and we started going to a local improv group out there. And they were doing shows on like Fridays and Saturday nights in this sort of bizarre theater under a McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Under a McDonald's.
Under a McDonald's.
I never knew a McDonald's.
There was a
under,
McDonald's, and then there was this tiny doorway you would never notice, but underneath, like you go down the stairs, then it turns, so it was literally underneath the McDonald's. There was a theater. Oh. So it was great. You got there early, you'd get McDonald's, and then you'd sneak it into theaters. That theater always smelled like Big Macs and filet-o-fish. It was weird.
Oh, what a combo.
Surf and turf.
Yeah, right.
Very much. Thank you very much. That's excellent. That's
Suburban.
Excellent. Yeah, and I started going and watching that. And when I started, I really liked it. And we went for weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally, they started to teach classes. And me and a buddy of mine in college started going to classes there. And we both got involved. And I've been doing it ever since. I spent, a couple of years taking classes primarily and becoming sort of a junior, rookie improviser. And I've then been performing and doing it for now about 35 years.
Oh, wow. Wow, yeah. That's a minute or two, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a long time ago. And I think for anything you do in life, it's the best skill you could possibly ever pick up. It doesn't really matter.
I think I would agree with that because, it teaches you to be sharper and like faster on your feet.
I think that's a mistake that people do. I don't think it does teach you that. It teaches you to listen. And that's why I think it's so good. You can be sharp on your feet. You can respond to something if you're listening to what's going on around you. It's a lot harder when I think what most people do is they hear somebody talking about an idea and that sparks a funny concept in their head and they're trying to write the joke while somebody is still finishing the idea. So by the time it comes out, it may land or it may not. But improv is all about the idea of just sitting and having a conversation with you and being really attentive to what they have to say. And that makes it so much easier to just do what most people perceive as sort of witty and quick-witted. But it's not. It's just listening. And that's why I think it's really good for everything.
Very good. I never looked at it that way. It is. It's so different from any other form of comedy, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so interesting that I started in it, and I have been a stand-up. I have been a playwright. I have been a sketch writer. I have, worked television, film, and live. And there is not one of those things that it's the beginning of everything. If I want to be a stand-up, that listening thing is really important. It makes you a really good stand-up because you're literally listening to the world around you. That makes you observant and that makes you find material.
Oh,
it helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it helps your writing because then you also understand, hey, if I have no script and I have to entertain a group of people, I need to understand how story structure works. I need to understand beginning, middle, and end and how dialogue works properly so that I can just come up with it. So I've had all those things. it's the groundwork or the framework of everything I do.
Excuse me. Oh, I gotta mute myself. I gotta find my inhaler for a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Improv, man. Flow state as well. I don't know. Like, are you familiar with that term?
I understand the term flow state, but in context of improv, you talking about?
Well, I mean improv. So like, I played music, and when you talk about in music, you improvise.
Yeah.
It's similar.
Very
the
similar.
fact that you're kind of just like letting go and just letting like shit just kind of flow, like ideas kind of flow through you, and not be so concerned with generating.
Yeah. And again,
Which is my
that's sort of
strong
what we were saying before. Again, and it's funny because before I was ever a theatrical improviser, I was a jazz musician. And I was like a professional jazz musician for like 9-10 years of my life. And that's what, essentially to me, the jazz improvisation is all about. It's but you still have to understand the framework that you're improvising within, and theatrical improv does the same thing.
Yeah. There's definite similarities though.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Like how I just improved that question.
I
was having an asthma fit, so I had to suck on my inhaler so that I could keep hitting my vape.
Oh yeah.
Because there are priorities in life, and obviously my lungs are not one of them.
No, that was a good pause.
You have two. You don't need both.
Right. Yeah. So, do you smoke weed or?
I used to a long time ago, and I don't anymore. I
decided to hang on to those last few brain cells.
No, not by no means.
I'm letting mine go.
Oh yeah,
I'm letting them all go.
No. Yeah, no. It's I sort of just got older and just got less into weed. Weed always makes me cough so much that I always felt like a fool. I was like, it's the coffee guy. He's the guy that coughs. He's the guy who's bad at weed.
Oh.
And so I always felt very self-conscious.
But now there are so many wonderful things. So there's edibles, there's drinks.
Yeah, I haven't always had an issue with edibles. Edibles, like my wife smokes a lot of weed. Well, I would think she's bad. She smokes weed more than anybody else I live with, and I only live with her. So, and every now and then she'll have an edible, and I'll try an edible. And I'm from, like I say, the West Coast originally, so it's like my edibles were always mushrooms, and I have no problem with mushrooms. But weed kills me. She gave me this one once from a friend of hers. I was high for 3 days, and I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
It was like a little tiny candy, and I was like, well, this feels silly the second day you wake up and you're still high.
Wow. Well, so you just feel the effects of it. So for some, maybe your body doesn't break down the psychosomatic effect of the THC for longer.
Yeah, it must be what happens. When I get high, it just takes forever to go away.
I don't know, because the last time I've been here, they were staples.
Damn, I wish. Wish I had that problem.
I don't know. If
that would be amazing.
Yeah,
edibles can be like that.
Edibles can hang on longer.
I find edibles always hang on longer, and I don't know why that is.
Where are you from?
I don't know the science.
Well, I mean, your body breaks it down, and it's processing through your digestive tract and getting into your bloodstream.
I understand that taking longer to affect you, but why does it affect you for longer?
I do like HRC.
Because all of it doesn't break down at the same time. It just, it goes into your body in a different way. Like it's digesting through your digestive. It's absorbed over a longer period of time. Than if you're just taking a few hits off of the joint. You're getting it immediately, all of it immediately. And the
THC boofs, those suppository. Those get out pretty quick.
THC
I have
boost.
never, ever, ever. I am not boofing anything.
Yeah, I don't know there's any drug that I've ever been that into that I felt, you know where that needs to go.
Straight down.
Yeah.
Man, I really need to do this drug. However will I get it in me?
You can follow me there.
So nice.
Wait, is it happening here?
No, somewhere else.
Where is it happening?
Her place. Later.
Later at her place. It picks up really strong on the bot when people are talking. It picks up really, really fast on the recording. Everybody would just stop.
Just look at them; they'll notice.
So now, this is an important question that I do ask every single guest that comes on here.
Mm-hmm.
It's very serious, very important. You can give it a couple seconds thought if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a superpower, any superpower, only one though, what would your superpower be?
Time travel.
Sweet. You
Did you say umbrella?
Time travel.
Oh, time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see how time travel could be the best one because essentially you can get a lot. The only thing you can't do is fly, but.
Would you go forward or backward or both?
First option is always forward. First instinct, like that's to me, that's how you understand a human being is. If you ask them, given a time machine, would you rather go forward or backward in time?
I'd go forward.
Forward.
Really?
Yeah.
I would not. I would not.
You go backward?
Yeah, I'd go backward first.
To a specific thing?
Oh, yeah. All kinds of specific shit.
No, you can't have all kinds.
Yeah, all kinds of specific shit. I want to know truth. I want to know, truths about some ancient, facts. I want to know. That's what I would want to know first.
But like what? Give me an example.
And then I would understand the future better. Huh? Which one?
What is an event that's happened in the past that you think would help you understand the future better?
You do not know what
who's
can of
building
worms you're opening.
I know. This is good, though. I like this.
Where to start? Who the fuck built the pyramids, right?
Yeah,
I'd want to know. I would want to meet those guys. Yeah. Go back
one
to
of them's named
Tepe,
Dave.
Dave?
Dave.
There's definitely a
Is
Tom.
Dave Pyramid from Cairo's hottest pyramids.
I didn't know. It was called Cairo even back then. His name was Dave. Sweet.
Yeah, Dave from Cairo.
No, not the one in Vegas.
There's a Cairo?
Go back to Tepe. I'd want to go back and see what's going on with Jesus. I want to get the real fucking scoop on his ass.
With who? With Jesus?
With Jesus, I'd want to meet a lot of spiritual figures and just get the lowdown of their words instead of how it's been warped forever. I'd want to go to the Ice Age and see if people really did live through it. And then before that, Atlantis. And then I'd go back a whole nother flip, and be what's the Atlantis of Atlantis and shit? And then Atlantis of Atlantis of Atlantis and shit.
So you want to see pre-history?
I'm going all the way back, man. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. This guy does.
And you?
He's
say
happy.
Forward?
I would go forward.
Why?
I gotta go. You gotta go.
Why? Because I want to see if we ever get our shit together.
So it's more from a political point of view, you think?
No, not just but social political. So I want to see if people ever stop fighting about all these stupid superficial things, and if people finally realize that money doesn't mean anything and that lives mean more, and we all just get along and travel through space and be Star Trek people.
That's the future. It's the only good future to want to have.
It is Star Trek. Yes.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Yes, I want to be the Borg
towards
queen. Specifically, I want to be the Borg queen.
You want to so you don't want to be the Star Trek stars. You want to be the villains in Star Trek.
Well, okay, but was she really a villain?
The Borg queen. Yeah, that's a good question. I see what you're saying.
A Borg queen?
Borg queen.
The Borg queen. Yeah. Oh. I mean, I think any good villain has to think that. I mean, their story has to be that they're the good guy, right?
Yeah. Nobody that's evil believes they're evil.
They're the bad guy. Yeah.
Nobody believes. Yeah, they don't actually believe that they're the bad guy.
So
they can justify everything they're doing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then that's what I think. So the Borg Queen's a hard one, because I think if you look at her story, she's the good character in that.
Yeah.
She's trying to save her people, build up her people.
Right. Right. Her hive.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's dumb.
Well, more like you're just, making people part of your hive, and they're your drones.
So not like communism.
No.
Okay.
Kind of like authoritarianism.
Okay. Yeah, true.
But only if I get to be the queen. Only if I get to
totally
be the
part of me.
It's a monarchy. Come
on. I'll be part of.
Damn it.
I'll join. Damn it.
I got to start identifying different.
Really good Kool-Aid.
Let's continue to perpetuate the problem, shall we?
So,
she did solve the booby paradox.
She did.
It's fair.
Yeah. I can solve, enough weed, and I can solve any problem that you bring to me.
But I think that's why you want to go forward in time, is because you want to solve the booby problem.
Yeah, I want to know.
You going forward, then you'll know.
Then you'll know.
So, I'm curious too. How did you become involved in the Unknown Theater?
Oh, well, I'm back maybe about 16 years ago. I moved to Montreal, and I had lived here once before, and I had done stand-up then, and when I moved out, I sort of stopped, and when I came back, I was like, I think I want to get back into stand-up. And the very first show I ever saw in Montreal, stand-up show, Rodney hosted.
Oh, great. Okay.
And so I've known him since about 2007, 2008, and we just sort of, we're like, it's the Montreal stand-up scene was pretty. It wasn't giant when I got into it, so you knew everybody, you saw everybody all the time, and that's we were just sort of starting. He was just sort of beginning to sort of move up to sort of the hosting level, and I was sort of getting back into it, and we knew each other. And then a few years ago, one of my best friends opened a club out here that was a burlesque theater, and I was hired to run an improv show out of it, and Rodney was hired to do a stand-up show every month. So we've just sort of known each other off and on for years. We did some theater together. But it's all the Montreal comedy scene, where it's especially in English, it's just too many. There's too few of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like VR, like were you already doing VR before you were talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't been doing it that long. I think there's one of the things, like, buddy of mine was over and brought his, headset, and then I'm like, well, I got to try that. That's kind of cool. And then I bought myself one, and just like, okay, this is I like this. This is a cool, fun gadget. Yeah. This is really, I like this. And then I was like, but I never came into Horizons or any of the socials. I'm not a giant social person in general. And we came into this. We came into the. I came into Horizon. I think it took me probably about 6 months of having a device before I sort of went into Horizon, and that's when suddenly Rodney pops up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, hey, I didn't know you were here. Come see my club that we're building.
Like, oh, that's
what?
Awesome!
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was sort of got into it just about like probably the month and a half before they opened, and then I just kept being, and just sort of always around for a while. But
so did you know that Rodney was on VR at all?
No, but Rodney was always one of these cool guys that I love, because he did think about technology, sort of thought about different types of aspects of shows that I was sort of doing is at the time I was producing a lot of burlesque shows and writing burlesque plays with my wife, and then
fun.
Then Rodney around the same time started playing around with a lot of different sort of tech in performance, and so we used to do them all at the same club. He did a show for a while. It was a whole stand-up sort of performance, but it was in a 360 VR experience. So it was just like basically as you're listening to stand-up, you're seeing, people around you like talking to the camera. You can hear off the corner of your back. So all these things are going on. I loved it. It was a really
wow,
but
that's
nobody
really cool.
had done that before.
Wow, and now they have those here in Horizons, right?
Yeah.
Because we've watched a few of those.
Yeah. No, it's like, and I think that's what was sort of good. It's like, I mean, I was sort of a bit of a developer and a designer for a few years before that too. So it's like, I'd never thought of this platform. I don't know why. And like, that's sort of what got me into it, was this and how you could tell stories in really different ways here. And that's sort of what I'm obsessed with right now.
Yeah. Do you find it more difficult to do things in VR because of its limitations, or do you find it easier because there's a little anonymity? So if you're goofy or whatever, I would say you're not going to run into somebody on the street, but you're probably going to if you ran into Rodney in the middle.
That's true. I know, and I've actually come here a few times and I've met people at Unknown Theater that are comedians that I hadn't seen in real life for like 10 years. But like suddenly run into them doing a show and I'm trying to explain, no, you remember me. We hang out sometimes. I know that this isn't my name. And
How did your avatar must have looked exactly like you or something? How did that work out?
Yeah,
How did you recognize them?
No, I knew because I met them through people who were hired at the club. And so I knew, for one of the shows I was on, Rodney brought this one friend of mine I had seen for a long time on the show.
But like when you said you saw Rodney here,
No. Roddy got a hold of me. Roddy got a hold of me on Facebook first and told me, man, I know you're on VR if you're ever here. So he'd come and see the thing we're building. And it's like, okay. Yeah, no. Yes, I have a very accurate. Exactly what I look like.
Yes, mine. This is exactly what I look like also.
So back to burlesque.
Yeah. What would you like?
Burlesque is awesome.
I see. It's the reason. It's not a paradox for me. I know where they are.
What's that? The boobies?
Yes.
Sweet burlesque. So you like choreographed it?
Yeah. No. I spent so much time in the burlesque, working with burlesque. I basically worked at a club hosting like 3 times a week. And producing some of my own plays, some of my own shows. So we worked in that club for almost 10 years before the pandemic hit. It was wild. Yeah.
I can kick really high. I've often thought I could maybe.
Oh, how high are you?
Someday try it out.
I don't know how high you are.
You can try doing burlesque.
Yeah, I can. I'm pretty flexible.
But burlesque isn't always about the high kick. It's about the bump and grind more. You can bump and grind.
I have a really sexy round kick. All right.
How round is this kick you speak of?
Depends on the crowd,
Don't know what that meant at all.
I don't either. Right. I'm not even going to ponder it. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
This crowd loves a round. What?
Yeah, I don't know what that meant. Maybe Wink, can you translate that? Oh, she's coined. I was going to ask if she could translate that because a lot of times I don't understand Wink either. So maybe she could translate.
No, I think we did it as well as we could.
So what's one of like the funniest things that ever happened like that you can think of like from the burlesque
Doing burlesque shows?
Yeah,
we
doing
did
burlesque
some wild shows. I think the first show that we wrote for them, which was a lot of fun. We did. My wife and I started a company where we basically did burlesque versions of old television shows. So we did a whole show that was I Love Lucy.
Oh
we did
my
a whole
gosh.
show that was the Flintstones. We did a whole show that was Laugh-In. So like,
I would have loved that.
Oh, they were so
love
much fun. We did
burlesque.
Batman. We did a bunch of Batman shows where we wrote a little play about Batman trying to find his dick. His little dick had been missing, and he had to go find
Poor
it.
Batman.
I know.
Poor Batman.
And it was sort of the thrust of the show.
Was that the thrust of the show? Was that because of the interview that who was the guy that played Robin in the old Adam West?
Burt Ward.
Burt, yeah, he had done a interview, and he said that he had to like kind of tuck for his Robin role.
Yes,
because
he had
couldn't have
a big
bulge.
old
Yeah, I guess he had
Batarang.
Yeah, and they said, "Oh wow, did Adam West have to?" No, he didn't have a problem. And I was wondering if that was where the premise for your show came from.
No, it
Adam West
wasn't.
having
But
a little dick.
it was about Batman trying to find. Well, his Robin's name is Dick Grayson.
Right.
So that was the whole. I thought we got that.
So he found
Batman
his
was looking for
little
Robin. Robin had
dick.
been kidnapped.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I'm so fucking slow. That's what we
Okay, no,
does
the way you addressed it though, I was convinced you knew what I was talking about.
Absolutely not. I did not. No.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I didn't pick up on that at all.
Pretty slow.
I'm impressed that I caught on that.
No,
quick.
it's
Usually it
very
would be
good.
like tomorrow. I'd be like, oh wow, that's what that.
Now I get it.
Yeah. Are you shaking your head, B? Are you? Were you just shaking your head?
No.
No. Oh, okay. It was your headset bobbling around on your head. That's why it looked like you were shaking your head.
Maybe mentally I was.
Mentally, you were shaking your head.
Shaking. Like, do you think he was disagreeing with this? Is that what you were worried
No, I
about?
thought he was just like shaking his head like a boy. Because,
Here
yeah.
we go again.
Like there are other things I could be doing on a Tuesday night. Like, just VR porn something. But yeah, that's what he's thinking. Maybe not.
Singers.
Yeah. Singers?
Zingers.
Zingers.
Oh, zingers. Singers. It's a game we're starting listing singers.
I'm not very good with zingers.
Zingers? What do you constitute as zinger?
She's zinging me, man. Tearing me up.
Oh, I get it. Oh, now I understand.
I was just joking.
Right.
I was just joking. Don't quit the show, please.
Please continue.
Oh, that was it. I didn't have anything else to say about that subject. Mostly because I forgot what it was. 'Cause I keep hitting my vape because it's there.
Right.
So, yeah. So, have you ever considered doing stand up again? Do you enjoy doing stand up?
I do every now and then. I still do it, maybe not as consistently because I got into. I love stand up. I love improv. I love all of things, but I always find that I'm always trying to. One of them alone is never enough for me. Like I just found that I can't find the comedy and all. That's why I mostly like to write because I have the ideas and how I can hone it. But I still perform. I like to perform. I like to host more though. I used to host a lot of shows, so hosting is an art form. I find unto itself. You find a show that has a really good host, that's always a better show.
I do admit I do enjoy hosting more than I like just getting up and doing a set. Like doing, like a 5-minute set or something. I enjoy hosting much more. Because I have a problem with practicing my jokes and repeating them. I don't like doing the same jokes over and over and over.
Yeah.
So with hosting, you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, and that, I think too. Coming especially back from my improv background, is I always more comfortable doing crowd work than trying to fine tune a joke as I'm telling it. There's something I always find. I write a piece down. I'm going to do that material. That's good. But I'm always trying to judge the audience, and I'm always trying to judge the flow of the show, and I'm always trying. There's 10 different things you're always trying to figure out when you're doing a stand-up piece. And I loved the improv approach to it, of just like it's just going to happen. It just has to come out. That's what's going on.
Yep, like on the spot, like just rolling with it.
Whatever it is, it's not wrong. We just go with it. Doesn't matter what it is. We can work with this.
What about you, B? Do you feel like you enjoy doing improv type stuff more than doing stand-up sets? Or is it...
No, I like stand-up, but...
You like doing stand-up?
I don't know. I like guerrilla improv just in random life and shit, like... Just do some wild shit in real life. That's my improv. I don't like doing it where you're like... you don't know what's up, like, all right, you're gonna be a banana with a fucking.
So you want to be in control of the improv
with a monkey rifle, huh?
You want to be in control of the improv?
Well, yeah.
And and I think that's writing. That's where writing comes in. Then you know, and that's why certain people are like definitely far more comfortable with the stand up, because their instinct is to write, to fine tune, and to work with that. And I find an improviser's first instinct is just well, we got to go and do it, and it could be wrong, and we have no control over this whatsoever. We just take it where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It never stuck with me, I guess, to answer your question.
Okay.
But I love watching it when it's done well. I love it. It can be really funny.
Yeah, I like watching it. I like watching other people do it. Some of it I like watching them do. Not all of it. But like, do you find when you're watching, like, do you go to improv shows and stuff at all, or you watch them?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I still do.
When you're watching them, do you find yourself going, "Oh, I would have done this," or "I would have"?
I think with certain people,
it's
inevitable. I mean, I like to try and surrender to myself in the experience that I'm doing to a point, but there's no way that you can't do it for a number of years and go, oh no, you're doing a bad job. You're not helping the scene there. You're criticizing as you're sort of watching it. I think that's inevitable, but I think that I do it more when I watch stand-up, because I can watch somebody whose comedy I don't like, but I can really admire the writing, or I can really admire how they perform their comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I love to sort of got a little lost in the middle of that. There's a point. It's a really good point. Damn it. Yeah, no, I feel silly. It was a really good point.
That happens on this show. That's why it's Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations.
That's good. Yeah,
crooked conversations. You never.
It'll come back. I'll find it.
Oh yeah, they usually circle back around. Well, like I don't know. Like, do you find that like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, I base not that, of course, like I'm any kind of professional. I would have a long way to go before, and that will never happen. but because I mostly do it because I have a lot of fun. But I base whether somebody's like a really good comic or not as like when I'm watching them on whether or not I find myself really enjoying and just laughing at their jokes and getting wrapped up in the show and not thinking about their joke structure or, anything like that, or how it's, or if they're getting their tags right or whatever. Like where I'm not analyzing them. But if there's some that I'm not particularly, enjoying, then I sit there and analyze it.
Yeah, and sorry, that's fantastic. Actually, let me remember where I was going. Yeah, exactly. Because I was thinking, when you go to see a stand-up show, you're seeing that honed writing, somebody perfecting these moments. And I think going to a bad stand-up show is almost impossible. You can go to a stand-up show that maybe you liked less of the comics or comedy on the show, but you still, it's because what you're watching is a bunch of people who spend all their time trying to work a piece of comedy, work an idea, find the thing so that it's perfect, so that if I say these words almost in front of any audience, there'll be some kind of response that I can work with.
Right.
And when you're watching improv, I think on a higher percentage, you're going to see more bad improv shows because the ideas are coming out of the time. And if you see a couple of great improv scenes, they're hilarious. But in between that, there's a lot of bad improv scenes, even from the very best people, Yeah. And so I think that's the whole thing. I think improv's got a bit of a bad reputation that, you go to see it and it's kind of a toss-up whether that's going to be really good or not. But I think it's that artistry that's the thing you can't go to an improv even if you've done it for years, because it can come from anywhere, it can go anywhere. You have people who were first of all smart enough to do that and do that well, and sometimes they're really funny. And that's the best thing you can possibly hope for, And when they are funny, oh my God, it was that perfect thing that anybody could have said. And I can't believe he just made it up.
Yeah, that's what I find like difficult to do. When I'm like with the improv, like I don't take cues very well.
But I don't think it's about cues. It's about, it's about life that we understand better. If, you could do an improv scene where you're, buying a shirt. And we've all probably at some point in our life had to buy some kind of shirt or schmeeze or whatever you want to call. And you could have a conversation. If you said, and I'm not going to worry about being funny. I'm just going to have the conversation that logically I would think I would have. It's a pretty easy place. Like, why am I there? Well, how do I buy that shirt? What is this? I'm going to be the person buying the shirt, and that person has to be the person I'm buying the shirt from. Now we've got a relationship. And so I think a lot of people see it as, oh my God, this is really difficult, but it's not. If you base it in reality, base it in the places that for you is incredibly easy. And that's when the funny comes up, when you're relaxed, when you're open, when you're not worrying about where the thing is going, because how the fuck do I know how that works?
Okay.
Yeah, mechanics aside, like chemistry too, people pick up on chemistry between improv people, like the SNL. I always like when I hear that a show or a movie had improv in it, and like I hold Arrested Development in high esteem. I think that's like a top tier television show, funny wise. And when I hear like that's been improvised, like a bunch of that was improvised, like it just pushes it like farther up. That's amazing. Or I really liked Best in Show, and then the other movies that those guys did, like about the folk singers, like that.
Yeah, Mighty Wind.
That I appreciate that because it turns out so well, like they went in with no lines and made a movie, and like that's funny as hell. That's amazing.
But that's like that's the beginnings of true theater. You know, that's commedia dell'arte. That's like the Renaissance when they started doing that idea of basically, you didn't get a script. You had a page where they explained this is what's got to happen here, and this is what's got to happen here, and this is what's got to happen here, and this is what's got to happen here. Then we're going to sell a thing, and that's how and then this is where we end it. So you have this basic structure. These are all the things that need to happen. The only thing you don't have is dialogue. Well, if you know what's going to happen, boom. And that's like for Arrested Development, same idea. For Best in Show and those kind, same idea. They knew the structure. This is going to be a story about a dog show, and this is what this character is worried about. And here's
you can 5
tell, like,
scenes. You can tell, like, maybe perhaps they're even trying to make each other laugh, like. And then you can feel that's the chemistry I'm talking about. Like when those guys, that's why they did multiple ones, because those guys did it really well, you know, together. Like the chemistry was great.
Yeah,
they were great.
Yeah, no, and I think that comes too. That's a great thing that you get with improv that I think you don't also get as a stand-up. The stand-up stand-up is for the most part solitary. It's about you're the person writing it, you're the person performing it. Where improv is the least solitary thing. It is. You've got to be in it. You've got to be not only part of that, but you also become part of a community. And as you perform for years and years together, you know, you start to understand, if they do this kind of a thing, they're taking this joke this way, and I got to know how to follow them. And so there's that chemistry is something that only comes with time, and a lot of those guys also had that. That's what I love.
Well, you got to, as a Canadian, SCTV.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? You've watched that before?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you know Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery, those two guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's who I learned improv from. Those are my first two teachers. They were this group that I used to go to in Vancouver. They were part of the team, and
my God.
And that's when I started getting into it. They were the guys who were teaching. It was a whole bunch of them, but it was like these were guys who, were crazy.
Wow.
And have gone on for years. But the best part is, like, I met Colin and Ryan when they were 18, 19 years old.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
These guys have been performing together now. They're both in their late 60s, for 50 years, for 40 years, something like that. And it's like, that's crazy. And the type of chemistry they have, there's nothing better. Watching these two guys who've been doing improv in 20 countries around the world, it's just wild when you watch their chemistry, because you just know, especially if you know the skill of the improv. It's like, oh, he's setting them up for this, and that's going to then play off of this. And you can almost see the story they're painting for each other, but because they have this years and years of shorthand, it always looks like it's perfection. The chemistry is insane to watch because of that.
Yeah. I like it.
Well, I always love it when they like crack each other up. And they just, they can't help it. And they're just laughing. And you can see, like, it's genuine. Like, they just can't.
Yeah.
Either that or they're very good actors.
What's the real tall dude's name?
Ryan Stiles.
That's Ryan Stiles? Okay. Yeah, those guys are hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they were fun. And they always were. Even, like, when I was first started seeing them, it was there was a 8-person improv group working out of Vancouver Theatre Sports, and the time I was seeing one of the girls in the company, and through them I sort of got to meet everybody, and that's how I sort of got into teaching to go to classes with them. But it was like 8 people, and to this date I still say, like, 4 of them with some of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
These guys have been doing this for years, but it was always Colin and Ryan were always friends together. And then there was another one, probably who everybody, like, the funniest guy in the company for the whole time was this guy named Lyle Moon, who, he died young. And so he died before these guys sort of started to break, but it was always the three of them. And if Lyle had been there, it would have been like, oh, that would have been sort of a thing that changed. I think would have put improv even more important on things because he was so good, and the three of them together were so astonishing.
That's
so
cool.
funny.
I mean, that's not cool. He died.
That's a shame. No, it's cool that he was.
I'm sure there's a funny
Cool
part in
story.
that you'd like to find somewhere.
A good story. And cool.
Yeah, that's.
Oh wow.
Cool.
That's awesome that they were your teachers.
Yeah.
They're incredible. They're absolutely incredible.
Yeah, no, they are wild, really wild.
You definitely learned from some masters. That's
So who's some of the shining Shakespeare's that you've met here in VR? Who's really good at improv that comes?
Well, I like to think everybody has their moments. I mean, Crow comes fairly regular, and Crow's really good.
Crow will fuck shit up. Yep.
Yeah. And I think we just have.
Wink is really good at improv.
Yeah.
She's funny as fuck at improv.
Yeah, I think it's also just a little bit of the structure here. I mean, performing it is, I find, an odd thing because I find improv that's very physical really works well. And sometimes it's a little weird in here when you're trying to incorporate that so much and not just have two people standing together talking. They're just standing there talking.
Without facial expressions, like it's hard to. It's like all lines, you know.
Yeah, but I also think you have clowning aspects to it too, where you can use physicality more to establish comedy elements here. And I think in improv, in here, you just got to play those up a bit more because your body can really start to explain how you're relating to a scene, you know.
Yeah, for me, it's a little difficult in VR because I move around a lot. I have this table next to me. I'm always knocking shit over on it. I have to keep my water bottles with the cap screwed on because otherwise it's gonna go flying everywhere. But I found I only did one physical world stand-up set. So now I'm going to be hosting an open mic, but I found that I liked it doing it better in physical world than in VR. I don't get stage fright or anything, so I kind of as much of an attention whore in real life as and when it comes to getting on stage, oh my gosh, if there's a stage, I just want to get up there and be making people laugh. I don't even care where I am. I just want to, and it's hard not to. But I don't want to embarrass the people that I'm with, so I try not to. I don't know.
I just want to react like,
it was just a random thought that popped in my head.
Stages, I love them too.
Well, no, I mean, do you love being on stage? Do you just absolutely love it?
I do. Yes, definitely. I always felt my whole life that's the only place in the world where I'm actually comfortable is when I'm on stage. Everywhere else, nah. That's more difficult. I find it's a little, I think it's part of that same thing. There's an aspect of control to it. There's an aspect of baptism by fire by it. But when you're performing, all of that comes out. That's the most wonderful little place in the world.
I have to agree with that. The first time I ever made people laugh and realized that I could make people laugh.
Yeah.
It was the best feeling in the world. But at that time, I thought they were only laughing because they were my friends. But then when I met people in here and other people laughed, people that I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't have to. They weren't obligated to laugh. They weren't drunk. It was the best feeling in the world. It was Yeah, it's like crack or something. I mean, what I imagine crack would be. I've never done crack. Hey, see that? I've never done crack, just so anybody knows.
Yay.
Well, because I get picked on about the one time that I did meth by accident.
Oh, I hate accidental meth.
Don't you hate it when that happens? When you
It's
think
like
you think you're snorting a line of coke, and then you find out that, and you're like, "Oh, that's a puniest little line of coke."
Dunkaroo,
and it hits a little weird.
Meth.
Yeah.
That's
Accidental meth happens.
accidental meth is the worst. That was
It is.
all the places.
It is.
Oh, I keep picking up stuff by accident.
I was awake for 30 hours. It was terrible. Super focused, though.
That's good.
Yeah. Meth is good for ADHD people.
Oh.
But I don't, I mean, it was just that one time and it really was an accident. And will somebody else please talk now?
No, I'm really fascinated by this.
Because sometimes I start talking and I know I should shut the fuck up, and then my mouth just keeps making noise.
An accidental meth.
and I find myself talking about accidental meth. And I work at a church, and I don't want, and you know.
That's the last place you want accidental meth.
No, we do not want.
Especially if you're Methodist.
That's funny as fuck. I was an accidental meth.
I think accidental Methodist is far more dangerous.
It may be, but no, it's not a Methodist church. Oh my goodness.
Well, when I used to date nuns, I was a Methodist addict.
Were you?
Nice.
Meth addict for short.
Nice. So you did. I did want to ask though. So we've covered a lot of your professional. Now, what about you? Mentioned that you are married. You mentioned your wife.
I have a wife.
So how long have you been married?
We just had 5 years in September. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been it's cool. Yeah. We both met doing burlesque in Montreal, and she was such a good burlesque dancer. I married her. It was.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So then we did that, and then we're both living in Montreal, and then during the pandemic, we just sort of went. Our place, we're newly married, but our place feels smaller and smaller every day, and we decided to move 2 hours north of Montreal up into the mountains and get a sort of house in the middle of nowhere. And that was sort of like, so we've been doing that together for now about 3 years. And that sort of.
Wow. Do you love it?
There are parts of it I love, and I'm not a very outdoorsy kind of person, but there are times that I miss the city, but, and then every time I go back, I'm like, maybe I just don't miss this city. I don't know. But
you weren't anywhere near where the wildfires were you?
No, that was a little further north than us.
Okay.
But it was we're just up one. Yeah, it was about 2 hours north of Montreal, so it's a cool little place.
I'm in Vermont, so we got a lot of your smoke from up there.
Yeah, well, that's
all your secondhand smoke comes down here.
Well, it's really hard to quit.
Yeah, well, you might want to try a patch or something.
You ever tried to patch Alberta? Just slides right off because of all the oil.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So wow, 5 years. That's
nice. Yeah.
Nice. So you're
still
moved up here, honeymooning still.
Yes, I mean, I like to think we're always honeymooning because I wake up with amnesia every morning. No, I don't.
You drink a bottle of Jack Daniels. Get one.
No, not that guy. No, it's a medical condition. Thanks.
Okay.
I don't have it, but it is a medical condition, just not one of mine.
There was a movie about that, wasn't there?
Oh, probably.
50 First Dates.
Oh,
Adam
yes, there was.
Sandler,
Adam
yeah.
Sandler.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
Why? What
I
what
think
else?
he's hysterically funny. I think
Okay.
he is hysterically funny. And I think he is sexy as fuck because he's hysterically funny. And I think he needs me and he doesn't know it yet.
Ah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
tried.
how to solve that problem.
I just, I think the best one was Little Nicky. Most
Cool.
underappreciated.
Underappreciated. Yeah.
Underappreciated was Little Nicky. Yeah.
Cool.
That's it. All right, somebody else, please talk now. Huh? B goes,
Yeah, I got something for you, man. So, before the show, I was looking up some Canadian headlines. So me and Windmajik are both your neighbors. She lives in Vermont, and I live in Minnesota, right?
Okay.
So your news is our news, but
Fair.
I don't necessarily read the headlines. Yeah. So I don't necessarily read the headlines, but I think I'm onto a conspiracy.
Which is?
I literally think, like, if I would have had more time to Google, I think I'd really have cracked this shit. So can I read you 2 articles?
Please do.
Okay. Here we are. This article starts off: 3 men sentenced for an $18 million Quebec maple syrup heist. You heard of this?
Yes, I know. We all know about
everybody knew about that. Yeah.
It's a
that
big.
was
It was big. It was very
Was it
important.
a big deal?
Yeah.
It was huge. It was
I didn't know. Did the
hundreds
stock
of
just fucking
millions
plummet?
of
Like,
dollars
I
of
didn't hear
maple
anything
syrup.
Well, 18 million, 3,000 tons
Yeah, it's a lot
of
of
maple syrup.
They
And it
stole
was,
3,000 tons.
Well, he had 2 years. They said, but it took 2 years, so it must have been in increments, right? And the dude got 8
Yeah, he
years
didn't empty like at once. It's not like an overnight job.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot. What the fuck?
That's a lot of
And
liquid.
hold on, the end of the article. I love that. I'm gonna read the last part. It's I'm skipping over all those shit, but it says, thankfully, the stolen amount compromised barely 1/10 of Quebec's maple syrup reserves.
Yeah.
Barely 1/10. No
Right.
big deal. 3,000 tons means they got 30,000 tons just like hanging out in reserve. What the fuck? This is real?
America has an oil
and that's
reserve.
just Quebec. I
They
didn't say
have a
Canada.
maple syrup reserve.
I didn't
If you
say
had
all
maple
of Canada.
syrup, there's a
I said
reason why.
Quebec.
It's really good.
Oh,
What
maple
the
syrup is
shit?
amazing.
All right. So there's one article. Hold on, let me
Okay.
find the other one. So I don't paraphrase. I'd hate to paraphrase. This is really important breakthrough. All right, next. Next we have from CTV News. Butter shoplifters strike again. 2 more large-scale thefts reported
I
in
read this today.
Guelph, Ontario. Is it pronounced Gulf?
Guelph.
Gulf, Ontario.
Guelph.
Guelph. Yeah, Guelph.
Guelph.
So at
Like-
least 7, not 1, at least 7 large-scale thefts have been reported over a 10-month period, including 2 hauls, blah, blah, blah. Let's skip down. $936 worth of butter out the fucking door.
Almost $1,000 of butter. Do you know how much butter that is? It's like 4 bars.
It goes on to talk about repeated cases, repeated over and over and over and over and over. All right?
Yeah.
Butter and maple syrup just disappearing.
Just
in
disappearing.
mass quantities
Do you know
in
what?
Canada.
I would
Now-
hoard all my waffles if I were you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I would have had more time with
Somebody's
Google,
got all
what's
the
the
maple
ne-
syrup and all the butter.
was-
What could they want
Yeah.
next?
Right. I was going to say, if I could Google a little longer, I would have found out that the fucking pancake building was missing 10,000 pounds of pancakes, and I know what's going on. I figured it out. I know what's going on. I know what's happening. Canada is secretly feeding a Bigfoot population in the Northwest Territories. Way the fuck up there, not telling anybody, and they're going to release them soon once they get them all assimilated and planned together.
Yeah.
Canada's going to take over everybody.
That's what we do.
Or depending on how the election goes over here, they're going to get all the Sasquatches together to build a fucking wall to keep the Americans from going north.
Just a wall of Sasquatch.
We don't want your asses.
You can't.
We have a covert army of Canadian geese that just patrol.
Oh my
Canadian
gosh.
geese and Sasquatch.
They are
Fuck
so
you, America.
mean.
They're
What is
mean.
up with your geese? Like Canadians are so nice.
All of our bad intentions, every horrible thought we have, we are told as young Canadian children to put them into the geese. And so the geese contain all of our anger and all of our frustrations. And Canadians are lovely.
And then the geese fly
are dicks.
south to the U.S. and leave all they fly south every year.
Yeah.
And then what is that? What they leave it all with the Republicans or something?
Well, that's what they go south because that's what we do. It's
shit all over the golf course.
Yeah, they shit all over the golf course. I live on a beach. I live on a lake, and we have to have a fence up to keep the geese from strolling off the water onto the beach area and shitting all over the place. And they're mean. They will chase me. I bring food down for the ducks.
Yes.
And the geese will spread their necks out straight like they're torpedoing. And then their wings flap really fast and they run at me hissing. Making hissing noise.
Yeah, they hiss. That's always a fun thing to learn.
I am a person who has chipmunks running around me, squirrels. Chipmunks are running up on my lap. Squirrels are eating out of my hand. And fucking geese are hissing at me. They're evil. They're evil.
There's got to be one dark side to Canada. It's our geese. And our clever maple syrup thieves.
Wow, they're really good at that, man. The reserves, though, damn. Some people put gold in the bank.
So now, are you a hockey fan?
Maple syrup's good.
No, I was the arty kid, not the sporty kid.
No sports, none whatsoever.
No, not really. I every now and then I'll. No, I used to watch boxing. That was about the only thing.
Yes. Nice. One of the two sports I like. I like boxing and American football.
I like both of those as well. I just don't like the team sports. I'm not a joiner.
I understand. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. So, is there
ice fishing?
Oh yeah,
ice fishing? I grew up on the West Coast. There was a lot of times where not even snow, so it's so it wasn't until I really moved out to Quebec that I really got the holy shit, is it cold out here? Enough that maybe
Vancouver.
people would ice fish.
Now, Vancouver is just above Washington.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours north of Seattle.
Right. So, it doesn't get cold there like it does.
No, not really at all. We're about the same equal temperature as Seattle, so it's like you're not seeing a ton of.
Seattle doesn't get they don't get winters.
Well, we get winter, but we don't get a snowy winter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they get a lot of rain though.
We get a lot of rain. Yeah,
a lot of rain.
Yeah. No, that's definitely. So that's the first thing I know when I left Vancouver.
But you don't get the sub-zero temperatures and stuff.
You might get a day or two where it's -3 or 4 there, but mostly it still hovers around 0 to 1. So and that's Celsius. So.
Oh, Celsius. Yeah. So that's okay. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't realize that.
Quebec, where I am now, we get the cold up here. We get the minus
yeah.
30s and what you guys get, especially you guys get.
Yeah, we get that in Vermont.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, it's brutally cold. Well, Minnesota's brutally cold too. One thing I like about Montreal, though, living in Vermont, is the underground city. I go there often in the winter because, there's all kinds of cool things to do, and you can access everything through the metro. And your metros are so clean, so clean and brightly lit. And I mean, even the people that are, like asking you for money and stuff, they're so freaking polite about it. And if you say no, they leave you alone.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm sorry. And then they apologize for bothering you. It's amazing. It's quite amazing.
There is that little bit of that Canadian utopia we have up here. That sort of, it seems a lot. That is, there are a lot of times up here it doesn't seem that way, and it's just like, but it's I don't know. There's just a different approach that I don't know, that I don't think it necessarily comes just north of any border. It's just we're always feel like, especially when we're living over America, there's always that thing of like, yeah, we're here too. Hey guys, remember us?
I remember y'all. Dad burned it.
Oh,
hey, Fat Boy.
I'm here.
Hey, Spontastic.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
And Anthony is here.
Yeah, I had a theory that what happened with the United States and Canada was that we cut ties with Great Britain too soon. We were like the rebellious kids. We were like the teenagers that left home way too soon.
Yeah.
And Canada stuck with them a little longer.
Yes.
So they allowed themselves to age a little bit more, know what the fuck they were doing, and they're a little more civilized.
Canadians couldn't. I thought
it's just more civilized.
I always look at Americans fought for independence, and Canadians politely asked for it, and then 10 years later they said okay.
Yeah, I mean, you waited.
Why
they
you
said,
shoot me?
"Oh, please, can we have our independence?"
Okay,
and they said, "You're not quite ready yet, but we're just going to loosen the leash a little bit. See how you do."
Okay.
I think
I'm coming back.
We were just like, bah, 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 take your fucking tea. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very much aware of it. And I think it's definitely there's a little bit of that identity in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I absolutely love Canada. I love going there. I always enjoy when I mostly go to Montreal though.
It's a good city that's close to you guys. You don't have to go up to Toronto or anything? You ever do that?
I've gone. I have. But I can drive to Montreal in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And Toronto's like a 7-hour drive.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Niagara's a 7-hour drive, so Toronto's like a 9-hour drive.
No.
Yeah. I've gone camping up in that area, like up above the lake, like going around it, like Superior and up north, but I haven't spent a lot of time there. B, have you been to Canada?
Once. I was like 8 years old.
What'd you go there?
They told me not to come back.
Really? What did you do?
It was in all the papers.
What was it?
We met Canada's Queen.
Oh.
Gary?
Canada has a queen?
Yeah.
Queen Labable or something. I forget what it was.
That's what they say in French.
And she kept winking at me, so I like went and sat on her lap.
Seems to be a quick reaction.
I guess that's a no-no. Turns out it's a no-no.
Well,
no.
I would never assume to sit in any men's lap, let alone the queen's.
No. Yeah.
No. That's what she said.
Yeah, and they put me on a sled, and I fucking got out of there.
Now, you speak French also, correct?
Un peu, mais pas bon. No, I do, but not very good.
So was his no? Does that sound like an accurate?
Oh, the Queen of Canada? Yes,
yeah.
we have a no.
Okay.
Or actually, and we're a bit upset by that because we think it should be la no.
La no. Okay. Mm-hmm. More the feminine. I see.
Well, I mean, it's addressing a woman, so should the pronoun not also be feminine? It's one of my favorite things that I don't know if you speak Spanish or any Latin, but so where you have the masculine and the feminine of things, and in French you have the same thing, but there are certain things that, like, table is la table. So therefore, it's identifying all tables as female.
Yes.
You can't do that nowadays.
Well, I don't see how a table could be anything. But the one I think is the most bizarre.
A table can be man or female, just like people.
But the fact that there is nothing so more evident of internal patriarchy than the concept that when inventing the language, they use the word for vagina is vagin, and it is le vagin. So it identifies all vaginas as masculine or male.
Yes. Yes, so they belong to the men. Yeah.
It's the most insane thing. Like, how?
It was like the word doctor said, you know what? That pussy belongs to me.
I know. The word doctor.
Le.
Le no.
And she said la. And he said, le.
No.
Le. No.
La no.
La no.
In there. And that's the story of La no.
I see.
That's like a burlesque show, huh? Ooh, la no. No. Let's do it. VR burlesque. Here we go. What?
Well, on that note, I think we're probably going to be wrapping up our show.
Cool.
Only because it's getting late here and I am old and I have to be to work early in the morning.
Fair enough.
And I need my sleep. But Danny D, thank you so much for being here. This has been an awesome show.
It was so much fun. Yeah, thanks a lot. It was a great time.
Come to Friday Night Improv.
Yay!
This guy.
And you know what, Danny? I'm gonna follow you now. Finally, I haven't followed you.
Oh, excellent! Yeah.
Then I'll actually know when you're online, and I'll know that you're doing improv. We are not streaming tonight, but if anybody wants to catch the show, it will be uploaded to Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations YouTube channel tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks a lot, guys.
And then I'll watch it back and, see what I said and how high I was. And, get to, re-listen to everything. And it'd be very cool.
Excellent.
All righty. Crow. I'm going to let you do the...
outro. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out tonight. If you enjoyed yourself, please like and save the world. Consider joining our Discord. You can get all the information about the theater. Tomorrow night, we are going to have Doobie's Comedy Jam over at Smoking Jay's Lounge. That's going to be at 9 o'clock. No comedy night, I believe, this Thursday. And after the Euro Comedy Show, we are going to have Mr. Divine Danny D here teaching his improv class. You can come join the improv class or just come and watch. Either way, we'd love to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out tonight. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you for coming. And thank you, Danny D, for being here, being our guest. I always want to sing "Be Our Guest," but I can't sing, so I don't do that to people. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Were you here before? Were you already here?